Alrighty guys, I just putting my grips back on this 1911 I got. I told y'all here a while back, I hadn't been on in a while if you hadn't noticed, but that I was going to get me a 1911. Well, I got one back last year, and I just hadn't never took the time to make a video up. And what I have here is a Para 1911. It's one of their basic bottom of the line 1911 single stack 1911 they make. It was plain Jane. It still has the factory sights on it, just the white dot like combat sights. Nothing fancy, no beaver tailed grip safety. This safety here is not the standard one. I bought an extended safety from Wilson Combat. The gun was just basically all black when I got it. Black grips. The slide stop was black. Safety was black. Trigger was a black plastic safety. The only thing that wasn't black was the barrel, of course. It's got a stainless steel, like a match grade barrel. I don't know if it's stainless steel, but it has a stainless look to it, you know. But anyway, and I went to buying a mess of parts, obviously. I bought a mess of Wilson parts. And I went to tricking this dude out. And everything on this gun I done myself. And you can probably tell it. I'm not no gunsmith. I'm not never even claimed to be. But this gun is nothing but a target gun for me. It is, I go out plinking beer cans, paper targets, just whatever we happen to have on that particular weekend is what we tend to shoot. And like I say, I put a mess of money in this thing on aftermarket parts, and it actually turned out pretty good. The gun's got a lot of rounds. I bet it's got, I've only had it a year. I bet it's got close to 5,000 rounds through it right now, because I'm reloading and shooting the dang thing about every weekend. You can already see all the pistol wear here, on this side, right in here. You see all the wear from all the from the holster. You can start to see it on the top from stovepipes. When you clear your stovepipe, of course, this finish is not a very good finish. They call it like a Paracoat, and it's actually all right, but it's nothing like a Glock finish or anything like that. I mean, that's the best stuff I've seen. But it's not bad. I'm going to either blue the gun or parkerize it, whatever. I haven't decided. Right now I'm working on doing some checkering on it myself. Like I said, I do everything myself. I started on the checkering here, and I'm going to start here and work my way down. Then I'm going to start with a line right down the middle and go each side. But I'm going to tell you, this metal is harder than all get out. I've never seen anything this hard as far as trying to file it down or anything. A regular file will file on it, because as you can tell, I've put this magazine well on it, and I chamfered and tapered it all in nice and neat inside. And I just used a hand file and a die grinder, like a little Dremel tool, and just real fine sandpaper, and cleaned it up where it's silky smooth in there. But I'll tell you what I've done to this thing. I put a Wilson Combat trigger on it, a match grade trigger. It's aluminum, adjustable trigger. Put the extended safety on it. Put the STI magwell on it, and it was just a drop-in deal. You pull the grips off and pull the pin out and pop it up in there. I had to do some filing and some work on it to get it to fit just right. And anytime you do stuff yourself, it's not going to be quite as good as a gunsmith, but for what I use the gun for, it's perfect. I went and bought the Wilson Combat grips. Man, I love them things. Man, they are awesome. You talk about get a hold of a gun now. They'll flat do it. I already safety checked the gun. I know I should have done it earlier, but just so y'all know. But man, I put stainless steel Allen wrench screws on the grip. I put the full length guide rod on it. It didn't have a. It had a little. It had a little small guide rod in it. The I guess the original 1911 guide rod is what I would say. Where this is a full length guide rod. Put in the little rubber things that the group grippers, what Wilson Combat calls it, that you put in on your full length guide rod. I put that in. This slide stomp was regular. It was Paracoated black, and every time I went to Wilson to buy one, and I haven't looked in a long time, they were out of the slide stop, the extended ones. So what I did was took my Dremel tool and just polished that dude. I mean, and just a really fine sandpaper, and just knocked the Paracoat off of it. Got in here on the serrations here, and just kind of worked them and got it all down, and then went over it with a polishing wheel for the Dremel tool. And man, it made that dude shine up. And same thing on this. This came from Wilson with a, they called it stainless, but all it was a painted gray looking stainless. It was not stainless. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they painted it to make it match what they want to be stainless, but I want that pure metal color. I mean, the actual steel. And I end up doing this the same way. I took it and took my Dremel tool to it, and with a real fine sanding wheel, brushed it all up, cleaned it up, got that paint off of it, and then just real lightly touched it with a super fine sanding disc, and then I polished the heck out of it. Did the same thing on my trigger. It was already kind of polished here, but you really can't see it that good. But I did the same thing, just touched it with the sanding disc, and then polished it up with a polishing wheel that I have. Did the same thing on this STI Magwell. If you notice right here on the back strap, it's all checkered and it's black. Well, what I did is I went all the way down, left it black all the way right here, and polished it from here all the way over to the front on each side, and then turned it over and polished the whole back side of it. So now you got a nice, pretty, shiny finish, which it's rough looking. Now you can tell where it's had magazines beat all up again it. It ain't in perfect mirror finish. This is not a Safe Queen gun by any means. This gun gets abused. But like I said, I haven't messed with anything on the trigger on this gun. Other than changing the actual trigger itself, I haven't messed with any of the interchanging the parts inside of the gun, because I just don't feel like I'm qualified enough to do it, and I've seen and heard of people doing it themselves and this and that, but I think I'll just let somebody else do it. I'll do my little piddling. I'm a mechanic by nature. I work in a industrial warehouse type business, and always working on stuff. And as far as what I've done, is all of it's been purely cosmetic. Haven't messed with any of the internal workings of the gun. One of the other things I did was cut off about a half a coil on my mag release to make it a little easier to push. A buddy of mine told me about that, and that's about it. It's a great little gun to start off with if it's like your first 1911, and you want to get into the 45s and you love the 1911 style guns, which I do. I wish I had 20 more. I wouldn't care what kind they are, because the good thing about them is they're like the ARs. You can absolutely build it and do it any way you want. I mean, this gun was totally blacked out with plastic black checkered grips that were ugly. I went and bought walnut grips, put on, and I didn't like the way they looked. And then I end up stuck with these Wilsons, and I've been pleased with these. I don't have an ambidextrous safety or a big beaver tail grip safety. I like the gun just the way it is. As far as anything I would change on it, I'd like to have some front serrations on it. And other than that, about the only other thing is I would like to have the big beaver tail safety. But as far as shooting it, some people, I guess with fat hands, they say that it can get up here and that hammer could actually get you. But you'd have to be a big-handed dude. I don't know. I got pretty little hands, so I don't have a problem with it. But man, this gun lets you get about as high as possible on it. And I don't have any problems with it. But I just want to let y'all check this out. I'm fixing to get back to working on this checkering job I'm trying to do. And like I say, hopefully it'll turn out alright. But I just wanted to show y'all this thing. This is a GI Expert Para Ordnance with probably 4,000 or 5,000 rounds put through it. Most of them, all maybe 500-600 of them was store-bought, but the rest of them was all reloads that I loaded myself. So if you want a nice first gun, inexpensive, and still be a good gun, I'd recommend this, because I haven't had any problems with it, even considering all the stuff I've done. No problems with the gun. It's always worked. It does need to be clean. You can't go out and shoot 1,000 rounds and and not expect. A lot of people don't clean their guns like they're supposed to, but you need to clean it. You know, it depends on how much you shoot. They say every time you shoot it, but and I do it with this gun because I use reloads and they're a lot dirtier. But just clean the dang thing, especially the firing pin hole. It's the only place I've ever had any problem is a firing pin hole. Make the gun not function properly. That's it. You get a little dirt and grime in that firing pin, and that thing just won't hit it hard enough to set the primer off, and then you're sitting there wondering what the heck's going on. But if you clean that thing up good, man, this thing will run like a sewing machine. I'm telling you, I haven't had any problems out of it. Been tickled with it, and I'd recommend it to anybody. But that's a GI Expert 1911, and we'll get back with y'all later.